Hello, my name's Stuart. My Tinnitus chat channel. Hopefully, I can help you with some information. This is on low-level laser intervention treatment. So, there's been a thread on the Tinnitus Talk forum, and some people have reported some success with this low-level laser treatment. But there are one or two things about it. I've read up on it a little bit. There have been one or two studies where they've reported some success, but with a fairly small number of participants. So I'm not really too sure how reliable that is. Also, they are very expensive. The sessions, I believe, there are people on the forum saying that they've spent thousands of dollars. I think somebody even saying they've put something like $20,000 on their credit card or something like that. It's absolutely mind-boggling amount of money. And there are one or two reporting they've definitely had an improvement. Well, for me, that's not really good enough. An improvement. I can get an improvement myself if I'm prepared to eat 200 grams of spinach every night. I can reduce my tinnitus by about 50%. But I only tend to do that when my tinnitus is spiking. You may know certain supplements, magnesium, potassium, whatever, zinc. You may yourself have your sort of go-to supplement or food that you can use to reduce yours, or maybe you've found a white noise generator or purple noise, pink noise, whatever, on YouTube, which can sort of smooth your tinnitus down. So I'm not really that impressed that people are spending thousands of dollars on this laser treatment. Now, we've also had people, and it's all anecdotal, I must say, we've also had people saying they tried it and it resulted in absolutely no success. So I think I do worry about these big money treatments. There's somebody on the forum saying that you don't need to pay out that kind of money, that the amount of the strength of the laser which is being fired effectively, I understand, at the eardrum is actually very low level, and consequently there are devices that you can buy and you can do it yourself. So I think that you should, if you're really serious about trying this low level laser treatment, you could do that yourself, do some research if you're desperate enough to try it. So it's too expensive in my opinion, and not really enough efficacy proven. There was a study done about 10 or 11 years ago. I haven't got it at hand, but I was reading through the literature, and it struck me that if there was some success on that study, why haven't there been follow-up studies to confirm it? It seems to be like one of these sort of oxygen environments, which some people have said can work. I forget what they call them, but we've had people saying with this oxygen treatment, you go into a kind of chamber with a certain level of oxygen and a certain pressure, and some people have said it works, others have said it's worse. So it's the same old story. Some say it works, others say it gets worse. Most people say they don't really know. It's a bit sort of sketchy and vague. That's the whole problem with tinnitus. It's very difficult to evaluate what is actually happening, and that's why at the moment I'm not actually taking any action at all. I accept that on some days it will be higher, on other days it will be lower. There are times when I will notice it more than others. So I'm not impressed with low-level laser treatment from what I've read so far, and given the cost, I certainly would not waste any money on it. But obviously it's up to you. It depends on where you are in your journey, how many things you've tried, and of course how desperate you are. I always assume that my tinnitus is quite low level because I seem to be able to tolerate it, but I've heard people saying that they've been out onto the street and they can just about hear their tinnitus above the traffic, and it's really bothering them. To be honest with you, I've got unilateral tinnitus, sort of high level hissing sound, and when I'm walking in noisy traffic I can hear it, and yet I seem to be able to get on with my life. I don't know, maybe Maybe we've all got different thresholds of discomfort, but at the moment I'm managing my tinnitus okay. Um, of course, I've heard of some people saying that it's like a burglar alarm next to their ear. I must admit, I would have trouble with that. I would have a lot of trouble with that level, and I would be eating a kilogram of spinach every day to try and combat that. I might even go for the low-level laser treatment if I had the money, or the linear. Who knows how desperate I would be? But I don't really believe in any of those treatments. So at the moment, I'm doing absolutely nothing because I seem to have habituated relatively well. What I've not done well with is some other. Obviously, I'm 58 years old. The body starts to wear out. It can't last forever. And I've had some pains in my left knee, and unfortunately, I've been to the doctor, and I've kind of provisionally been diagnosed with osteoarthritis in the left knee. So, if you think tinnitus is bad, think about not being mobile and not being able to walk around. So I'm really worried about that. And I'm doing various exercises. I'm cooking up some chicken bones tonight, and I'm going to make gelatin. I've read that gelatin can actually, there's some evidence that gelatin can actually reduce the pain. So I'm hoping to get on top of that. And at the moment, to be honest with you, that's more important to me than tinnitus. So there are worse illnesses than tinnitus, I believe. But I suppose it depends on your level or how bad you perceive your level to be. So that's about it, really. Let me know if you've got any comments. But yeah, so I've got that osteoarthritis, which is bothering me a bit. I did have another issue, which fortunately is cleared up. It's crazy. It's like I had one issue, it cleared up, and it's been replaced with another. So I had some kind of impingement in my left arm, and it was giving me some trouble. I had some pains with it for a few months. I did a few exercises, but got tired of doing the exercises. I forgot that I had the issue. And then one day I thought, oh, wait a minute, it's not painful. It's sort of, oh, seems to be okay. And, it seems to be all right. It's not quite, 100%, but the pains I was suffering in this arm at night time and, when I was doing certain actions, putting my jumper on, that sort of thing, seems to have cleared up all on its own. And this is what can happen with tinnitus as well. It's causing you trouble and it might actually start reducing and you start to forget about it. And you suddenly think with your tinnitus, oh, wait a minute, I can hardly hear it. And that actually happens with a lot of people. And they're the same people it's happening with who are having some of these therapies and they're connecting causation. If they're having chiropractor and they happen to get remission on their tinnitus, they connect the two. That's why when you go onto chiropractor videos, people say, hey, it worked for me, just pure coincidence. And there are others saying, oh, well, it didn't work for me. Well, no, because it doesn't work anyway. There's no proven efficacy with chiropractor or acupuncture or any of other of this nonsense. Sorry, but if there is proper scientific evidence to support these treatments, then I would be all for them, but there just isn't. And I don't like to see people wasting money. I don't like to see you wasting your money on a lot of these quack cures. So, I hope that you will accept my word, or at least reason yourself that tinnitus does actually go away on its own. And that because of all the thousands of people trying out all these therapies, naturally, somewhere it would go into remission anyway. People are connecting the therapy with the actual remission. And there's no scientific evidence to support any of these chiropractics and acupuncture that they can actually treat tinnitus. Not at all. So please, I beg you, do not waste your money. I hate to see people getting money for absolutely nothing. I'm in business. I give value for money in my business. And it would be against my conscience if I was a chiropractor to claim that my chiropractor or my acupuncture could actually treat tinnitus. So that's how I see it. I know a lot of you, mainly you acupuncturists out there and you chiropractors, will disagree with me and say, oh, I've got many people who I've helped. No, you haven't helped them. By coincidence, it's cleared up. Sheer coincidence, and you just happen to be treating them at the time. You didn't help them at all. You've got no evidence to support that. Okay, I'll be back again with another video soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.